All right, this is Mr. James once again with your vocabulary and writing lesson for today. We're going to start with 3 words as usual that are found in the lesson for reading of text that we did, which was about the search for El Dorado. Our first word that we're looking at today is the word limitless, and limitless is an adjective, meaning it describes a noun. You're going to find that word on page 16. Today, I have decided that I was going to copy the text into it. That's really because I left my book at home, and so I had to be able to read the text at the same time as I'm showing you the slides, and so this worked out pretty well. And you'll see there the text says, almost as soon as they arrived in New York, let me try that again. Almost as soon as they arrived in the New World, Spanish conquistadors became obsessed with a legendary figure named El Dorado, which is Spanish for the Golden One. He was said to be a local ruler with almost limitless supplies of gold, and the conquistadors wanted to get their hands on it. So when we look at that context, first of all, we know that El Dorado was legendary. We know that there was a legend about him, that people weren't quite sure if he existed or not. And also we see in quotation marks that he was the Golden One. So if he was so legendary and he was the Golden One and he had limitless supplies of gold, that might lead me to believe they had a lot of gold. Also, those 2 words, limit and less. Limit means like a small amount of something. And less, a lot of times, as a suffix at the end of the word, means to not have that. So in this case, it means to not have a limit or unending or no limit. Some morphological links include limited, limiting, and limitation. So a lot of morphological links there. You can probably think of some of your own that you could add in as well. Sample sentence here. Let me move my picture. I've learned how to do this now. Dun, dun, dun. Sample sentence says, the amount of design options seem to be limitless. So there seemed to be no limit to the amount of design options that existed. So there were so many options that there seemed to be no limit, or it was limitless. Go ahead and please write your own sentence after pressing pause right now. Our next word is the word mythical, and mythical is an adjective. It is found on page 19. As you can see, I've got the text box right here that has the word mythical in it. And it says the attackers were probably men from the Yagua people wearing grass skirts, but the story reminded people of a mythical group of female warriors from ancient Greece known as Amazons. From then on, people started calling, and then it continues to say, calling that river the Amazon River. But the word we're really focusing on here is the word mythical. And mythical, it says it reminded them of a mythical group of female warriors from ancient Greece. So from ancient tells us it was from a long, long time ago. So they may not have actually known who those people were, or even if they existed. Plus, I see the word myth in the word mythical, and that might lead me to believe that I know a myth is something that is maybe not necessarily true, and from a long time ago. So I would think that maybe our word would mean it's fantasy or imaginary. So something from a myth, something mythical. Morphological link you'll see is the word mythic and the word myth. And our sample sentence says, the mythic stories of dragons breathing fire were passed down through generations. So when we look at that sentence, we're saying these fire-breathing dragons, this is a great context sentence because we know that fire-breathing dragons didn't exist from as far as we know, but they are a myth. Many people do believe that could have potentially happened, although it's highly doubtful that that was ever really the case. So that makes it very mythical, or a myth. Our next, I'm sorry, go ahead and pause this video before you move on to the next word so you can write your own sentence with great context clues in it. All right, and we're back for our last vocab word. The last vocab word is the word catastrophe. And catastrophe is a noun, and it is on page 19. And our text there says, for the people of the Amazon, the arrival of the Spanish was a catastrophe. Many of those who were not killed died later of European diseases which were introduced by the Spanish. I don't know why there's that L on the end there, but anyways, it was a catastrophe, and it says many of those who were not killed, which means that a lot of them were killed, but then they also died of European diseases. So people being killed, people dying of European diseases that were introduced by the Spanish, makes this a catastrophe. Doesn't sound like a very good event to me. So I'm going to guess the catastrophe is something that is negative or bad in nature. And yeah, it's essentially a disaster. It's essentially something devastating. So this was a disaster for the people of the Amazon because it killed so many of them. And it was a catastrophic event. So we turn that with the IC on the end becomes an adjective from a noun. Catastrophic. And my sample sentence at the bottom says the tsunami that hit Japan was a global catastrophe that affected people all over the planet. Now, you could probably imagine what sort of sentence I would write if I were writing a new sentence today. These are sentences I came up with in the past. I would say that what we're going through right now would be a global catastrophe as well, and that might be a good thing to reference as you write a good, strong, contextual sentence on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. All right, and you're back. The write in response to reading is we want you to reread pages 16 through 19 on your own, and using details from the text, write an informative paragraph that explains Oriana's actions and what those actions in the New World reveal about him. So you might say that Oriana's actions in the New World reveal that he is a great guy. And then you'd have to have some examples from the text to back that up. You might decide that he was not a great guy, or you might say that he was very selfish, or you might say that he was very caring, or you might say whatever you believe that you can back up with evidence from the text. Just make sure that you have a topic sentence, multiple pieces of evidence to support that topic sentence, and then a concluding sentence to wrap the whole thing up. Go ahead and get that write in response to reading done, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Hopefully when you're watching this, it's a beautiful day. If not, make it a great day. The choice is yours.